Welcome to BP Leadership Podcast, where real leaders are made. I'm your host, Bill Purvis, and this is our fourth and final episode of our conversation with my guest and good friend, Neil Stillwell. Neil has brought a lot to the table during this time, and I hope if you haven't heard all the rest of it, go back and pick up those podcasts. They will be worth your listening to. He's going to talk to you about some of the businesses that he started. He came from nothing in almost every one of those and took them into multi-million-dollar enterprises. His last one today we'll talk about is Salt Life, which is one of his other businesses. And he's going to tell you about both failures he's seen in the way people make decisions and then how to make wise choices, about his love for the business and turning things around. I promise you today's going to be a great day. Let's get started.
People like think, Neil, you're a good businessman. No. My son came along and while we was doing the PGA golf stuff, and they out of Ponte Vedra, right, at Jacksonville, and they came to him and said, you know, we got this local company down here that's coming to us and asking us, can we help them? Yeah, because they got hold of something, don't know what to do with it, and it's growing like crazy. And it's Salt Life.
That's where it's going. I was going to ask you, tell me the story of Salt Life, how y'all got into that and what you did.
Well, again, this is totally my son, but he met with the people, and he got to seeing, you know, here they are. They started off with an idea. It was 4 guys that was good friends, good buddies. Every weekend they ended up on the beach doing something. They was surfing or fishing or spearing fish, and, you know, just getting together every weekend. One owned a tackle shop. One was a mechanic. One was a well driller, and one was a contractor. They were just buddies and friends. Yeah. And they hung out one day. And one day, right at dusk dark, one came up, and he had this big old grouper he had speared. Right. And he was holding it up. And I said, oh, my gosh. And one of the guys said, man, he said, we are blessed with the Salt Life, aren't we? You know. Yeah. And Salt Life, that's cool. And one of them wrote it down on a napkin. Right. And he gave it to the guy that run the tackle store. And he went and got 100 decals made up. And that 100 decals, they put them on his counter because they was going to get them for the but they made him buy 100. Yeah. So he put them up for sale. And before long, people was coming in buying his decals. Right. And he started to buy more, and then he put T-shirts. And he built his business up to like $3.5 million. Wow. And, you know, quite honestly, they didn't know enough about that end of the business and how the distribution works and how everything else. They would have probably ended up bankrupt. But through PGA, talking to my son Jeff, and he looked at it and he said, this thing has got legs. Yeah. And so Jeff, after we'd done sold out to Delta Apparel, that he talked them into the fact that we need to buy this company. And we gave them we bought all the merchandise and the rights to sell everything. They still they was coming in with some dog bowls and such as that. Jeff said, no. So we ended up having to buy the whole company. And I say I didn't really have anything to do with it. That was my son, Jeff.
But you know what's crazy about that is how that with Salt Life, you'll see those stickers everywhere.
They are.
I have seen them in California. I've seen them all over Florida. But I can be behind a car and look up, there's Salt Life.
I notice them I can spot one, you know, from long ways. And it just makes pride come up in you every time you see one, like, you know. You know, and I'm proud of my son,
Absolutely.
too. I talk about, I get a lot of, during this time, I told you about Chris Martin helped us. My son, Jeff, he's got a good head on him.
Good head,
He's a good business person.
And I know that feeling because I have a son that's taking over
I
here.
know
I
you
understand
do.
the same thing. And there's a part where they've been learning from you all these years, and then they've also got their own ideas, and they've just got good business sense. That's part of really, too, the outcome of the tithe. You know, when God says, bring the tithe and whole storehouse. If I not improve me, if I want to open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing.
Right.
And some people think, well, if I tithe, it'll be money. It may be the blessings. You know, there are a lot of things that I'm blessed in that money couldn't help. And you're blessed with a great family. You're blessed with friends. You're blessed with opportunities. I'm glad it didn't limit it to just, you know, if you tithe, I'll give you some finances. God basically says, I'll give you blessings, whatever you need. And it's one of the biggest blessings is family. And that's
absolutely.
And you know that, especially being married that long, having a great son. The thing that, when it comes to business, when somebody's starting out in business, I'm already hearing you say you need to partner with God right off the bat.
Absolutely.
And that, otherwise,
that's number one thing.
Yeah, otherwise you're in for failure or a long, hard road.
Right.
And
well, then you're doing it by yourself instead of His help. Why would you possibly, if you know the Word and you know, and if you don't know the Word, listen.
Yeah, that's right.
Go and ask the Lord to help you.
Yeah.
And why try to do it on your own, which is more likely you're gonna fail.
Yeah, that's right. And then the part you just said about listening, you got to be able to hear what you feel like God's telling you.
Right.
And do you ever see? I guess it's God just gives you an insight, and you say, like you said, the phrase "that's got legs" or "that'll work." You can look at several things and say, you know, I can see potential in that, and that's part of, I guess, God's wisdom and revelation to you, that He's showing you that's where to go.
Right.
And so that's the part that I like. Now, what are some of the failures people make in business? Is it overextending themselves, or going in the power of the flesh, or just being driven by the dollar? What do you see about people you say, you know, they're trying to start a business and or it may be just a bad idea and nobody's told them, you know?
Well, I think you just hit on some of it right there.
Yeah.
I think some people don't need to be going into business. They need to. I hope people don't sit and listen to my story and say, "Oh my gosh, look what I could do. I could do that. What he did." And you might could do a whole lot better than I can.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the route to go to, you know, I'd say go to the Word first.
Yes.
You know, and again, I'm so thankful for my wife that she was able to show me that.
Yeah.
But go to the Word first, and then you ask Him to help you, and then I think you'll get some leadership. But going just to go, hear something, go into business, jump into business, and
yeah, because there are a lot of people. They jump into business just thinking, man, I'm gonna make a quick buck, and they're that's that love of money thing almost. They just pursue that instead of thinking about the benefits of how to provide for my family and give a good service to somebody else. And I guess when it comes to that, you also have to deal with people. And I think being a Christian and treating the employees right and helping them to find opportunities, that'd be, I think, big in building a healthy company, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I'm proud of all the employees I have. People come up to me all the time. I recognize a lot of them as employees I've had, but you know, we had 285 at one time. That's small for others, but it's so many different businesses. I would think that I probably had several thousand employees around these cities working for me somewhere during the course of the year, and I hope that they think, oh, Mr. Neil is always done us right.
Yeah.
He's always done the right thing.
That's right.
And I hope I've always been a witness to him.
Yeah. And that's it. And I hear that from people that I know that know you. In fact, I've known about you through a couple of my friends that fish. You know, Butch Jordan.
Oh, yeah,
now works with him, and that's Bill's brother. Yeah. But the first time I think I ever heard of it was Butch.
Yeah.
Butch said, "Man, have you ever met Neil Stillwell?" And that was back when you were doing the game, and he was telling me some of your story back then. You love fishing, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Do you fish a lot?
I do. We started this fisherman, Danny East.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right. Yeah.
And for the last 20 years, of course, he's
stepping away now.
Stepping away from that, and that whole family is just
good people,
just great people.
Yeah, they sure are.
But I fished that for 20 years now. You know, but at some time, business wise, I couldn't go to all the tournaments. But the last few years, I have, and you know.
Now, what's your favorite type fishing? Is it bass fishing?
This is all bass. You know, that's.
And they're just harder. People don't realize how much harder they are to catch, do they?
Let me tell you this. Me and Don Duke, one of my buddies I fish with all the time, we went to Seminole this past weekend. Went out on Friday, fished on Friday and Saturday. Came back Saturday afternoon. Fished for 2 days. I didn't get a bite. I caught 2 jackfish, which they're not bass. And we're only fishing for bass, which they don't count. You know, anything. They pull good and fun to catch, but I did not even catch a bass. Now, you know, in a month from now, you can go down there and I might catch 60.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Yeah.
So I actually went yesterday. I got a little tournament this weekend at right here at
is it Harding or Oliver?
Oliver. Yeah,
Oliver.
right here at Oliver.
Yeah.
I live right on the other side of Oliver, but I fished there yesterday. Caught 2. I was proud. I called Don last night and told him, I said, man, I got the stink off of me. You know, I went and caught me too.
I know. I actually have a nephew that lives on the ocean down in Sarasota. Lives on the ocean. His father's got a boat.
Right.
And he is a great fisherman. The boy wants to fish night and day all the time.
Yeah.
But he keeps getting in trouble. Makes great grades in school, straight A's, all that. But he loves bass fishing. And though he's got the ocean out there, he gets bored with that, and he sneaks around to these golf clubs and fishes in their ponds. He's always getting run off.
Right.
And I asked him one day, I said, Reese, what is it? You got all this water in your backyard, and you got to go to golf course. And he said, I just love bass fishing, largemouth bass fishing.
I do. It's a different, and you know, like Charlie.
Yeah.
He's a big bass fisherman too. But I love it to see that bass blow up on a plug or a catch. There's nothing like it to me.
Now, what's the biggest one you ever caught?
13.5 pounds.
Good night. Yeah. That's a good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Where'd you catch that?
It's a lake I used to be a member of. It's called Seahoy Plantation.
I fished it.
Have you fished it?
I have actually fished it. Yep. Sure have. With John Lee.
John Lee, okay.
Yeah, John took me down there.
And did y'all catch a lot of fish that day?
The day we were there, this is crazy. You know John will fish all day too.
He loves fishing more than any human living.
He does. He should. He's a surgeon and a doctor, but he should be a fisherman.
That's right.
But I remember we went at 6 a.m. in the morning, and by the time we got through finished, it was like 9 that night, and we were competing.
Yeah.
And he caught 45, and I caught 43. And the reason I caught 43 because I let 2 of them go anyway. I just threw it out with nothing.
Just so you could win, so he could come home.
Yeah, I was thinking, John ain't going Billy Beans. I'm going to let him be.
Oh, yeah, he ain't going to let you be.
But
now, John caught one over 16 pounds in that same lake. And I was in a boat with him. And we didn't have, quite honestly, we didn't have anything to weigh him with.
Yeah.
But I know what a 13.5 looked like, and he does too. It's unbelievable. Get him to show you the picture sometime.
Yeah, I will.
Huge.
That would be big. Biggest I ever caught was 11-pounder.
Oh my gosh, that's still, it's less than 1% of the bass fishermen in the United States has ever caught a bass 10 pounds.
Yeah. Wow.
Less than 1%.
I wouldn't know that. Yeah. I've seen Charlie. He gets some of these Texas fish over here and send me a picture.
Well, he catches these shoal bass too, and he's caught some just about his state record type deal.
I know. Yeah, well, it's crazy. I had a guy. You might know him. I don't know. A guy named Austin James. He died a few years ago. Butch hooked me up with him to fish one time, and he would fish night and day, same way like John. We would actually run out of bait. Then he'd cast a net to get more bait.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't have to go back. And he told me he was on his 4th marriage, and he says 2 of them divorced him while he was fishing, and he didn't know it for 2 weeks. He said, I got home, there was divorce papers on the table. And I said, Austin, you don't even need to be married then. So they just finally said, I'm done. He gets home 2 weeks later and finds the divorce papers. And so that was a guy that he loved fishing, but there's nothing like it. That's the fun thing. But that's your reputation among everybody I've known all these years. In fact, as far back as back then when Butch first brought it up to even as recent as the other day, I think Charlie had mentioned we were talking, everybody respects you, Neil. They love your faith.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, you've done it right and done it well.
Well, hey, I made a lot of mistakes. Ain't no doubt about that. I'm definitely human, so I make mistakes too. But I have been blessed.
Yes,
and I thank the Lord for it.
Yeah.
I really do.
That's been the good part about it. I want to thank you for being my guest today. Thank you for my friendship we're developing, but thank you for being my guest.
I'm thankful I can call you my friend.
I am too.
We are friends now.
I am too. I'm grateful. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed all 4 parts of this incredible conversation that Bill had with Neil Stillwell. And stay tuned for the next podcast series that Bill's got coming up with his guest, Matt Mock. Now, Matt Mock is a good friend of Bill's and a great guy here in our Columbus area. He owns his own IT company, but not just does he own this company, which is very successful, and you'll learn all about that, but he's one of those people that just knows a little bit about everything, and he's just got the best personality. He is hilarious, and he tells some cool stories. So make sure you stay tuned for that conversation that Bill's got with Matt Mock coming up soon. So hit the subscribe button if you have not already so that you'll get notified when that podcast releases. All right, and also make sure you check us out on our website, bpleadership.com, and you can learn more about what we've got going on here with this company other than just this podcast. So check us out now. Get ready for the next podcast. You don't want to miss it. I promise you that. And remember that this is where real leaders are made.